What's up? What's up? What's up? Oh Lord. Okay, y'all. So let's get caught up on Next Gen NYC. We have episodes 3 and 4. Now, look, honestly, I don't have a whole lot, but of course, the main event we're gonna get to. So let me just give y'all the preliminary, because we're not gonna spend a whole lot of time on all this other little minutia. Okay. Ariana wants to have a girls' night. You know, she said that she never imagined that she would be where she is. You know, a year ago, she never thought she'd have the strength to walk away. But she did, and you know, she's looking for a little girls' night with her friends, and so they're gonna have a girls' night out. Then we see Liam. Liam is a jack of all trades situation. You know, we know that Liam likes Ariana, and that's the whole thing. Then we have Liam calls what's that boy? The little boy. I mean, I won't call him a little boy. I can't remember his name. But Liam calls up the young guy. We're gonna get to Miss Riley. We're gonna get there. But he says, look, I want to hang out, but I don't want it to be like a date situation. So hey, why don't you invite Ariana to hang out with us? We're gonna go, maybe we can go play some games or something. Not Brooks, the other one, the other young man. And he said he feels some kind of way about it. He said, you know, I honestly don't want to really be in this situation because I'm cool with Hudson. Me and Ariana are cool. I know how Hudson feels. I know the breakup is fresh. Liam, I know you like her, but I really don't want to be in the middle of this. I really don't. And we'll see him struggle with that as Shy. Thank you. That's it, Shy. We'll see him struggle with this as the episode continues to move on. Amira, let me say something. Amira, I need you. I need you to take a break. And I need you to sit down with your financial advisor, and I need you to figure out a way to take some things off your plate. I think you have taken on some things that maybe nobody asked you to take on, and now you feel obligated. And the thing about social media, because trust me, I know, and I'm on a much, much, much smaller scale than what she's on. The thing about social media is that there are no days off. Even if people who do content, who get paid to do content, there are no days off. You know, if you agree to do XYZ amount of ads for a particular product or review a product, you have a timeline on that. Like you have a certain amount of days to get that content out. And of course it has to look a certain way, and it has to be, you know what I mean? And so it is a constant thing. But if you have created bills that now you have to handle, I mean, she said her apartment is $16,000 a month. She bought a house for her mom that she still has a mortgage on. She said she pays her car note and her mom's car note. And her mother even said, girl, I didn't ask you. Like, you don't have to do these things. And she said, well, I just want y'all to feel proud of me. And I mean, her mother said all the right things. But you know what? And I don't know nobody's financial situation, and I'm not here to judge her mother at all. Let me be clear. I am not judging her mother at all. But what I will say is this. Why not tell her no? I mean, why not pay your own car note? I mean, the mortgage is different. She bought a house. And this is what I'm going to... She bought a house, but she has a mortgage on it. You're paying $16,000 rent. Again, I get it. I know New York is expensive, but do you really need an apartment that's $16,000 a month? Quake said Amir spends on unnecessary things like why Uber everywhere in a black car. Well, my thing is this. If you have a car, why are you Ubering everywhere? You know, like you said you had to pay your car note. So you're paying a car note and you're Ubering everywhere. Then something's got to give. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I mean, if I make the kind of money she make, I would probably Uber in a black car everywhere too. But I wouldn't be Ubering in a black car and paying a car note and paying car insurance. Do I Uber sometimes? Yes, I Uber sometimes, you know, if there's certain places and I know there's not going to be parking or whatever. And I know a lot of people in New York don't drive. That's why you see celebrities on the train and everything else, because a lot of people in New York don't drive. So you don't need both. You know what I mean? And if you want to go to the Hamptons for the weekend, or you want to go somewhere, just rent, like, do it like other New Yorkers, just rent a damn car. I just feel like she's going to burn herself out, and it's not going to be pretty. It's not. So this is the second, well, we only on episode 3, but this is like her whole thing, this whole, like, first and second episode, she was talking about being burnt out and always working and not having a break and not having time to herself. I feel like we're working ourselves up to something, and somebody needs to pay attention before it becomes worse than what it is. Gia and her boyfriend. Gia's moving into her apartment. Her and her boyfriend aren't moving in together because he lives 5 minutes from his job, and he was like, it doesn't make sense for me to move to where you're living, because then I would have an hour commute to my job. Right now I can be at work in 5 minutes. And then, of course, she moved closer to the city because that's closer to her job. She said she's paying everything herself, so that's cool. I don't understand these women who what their significant others do. When that man said, what is your husband, boyfriend, what does Christian do? And you literally had to pick up the phone and call and find out what he does for a living. And let's be clear, it is not that complicated what that man does. He does demolition and trash removal. It's not that complicated. Now, maybe you didn't want it to sound that, maybe you wanted to try to come up with something more complicated because maybe you didn't think that was a good look, that you don't want people to think that your boyfriend was, did try. But girl, then you should have said he's a sanitation engineer or something. Like, you should have came up with something. But it was not that complicated. Let me explain something to y'all. Ain't no way in hell I would date somebody and I can't explain what he do. I don't care how much money he bringing in the house. That's how you end up indicted. And I'm not talking about G in this situation. I'm just saying in general. Like, look, last year with Georgia was like, oh, he does something with crypto. Oh, absolutely not. You say this man is a millionaire, but you can't describe what he does. He just does something with crypto, but he a millionaire, and you living in his $10,000 a month apartment and traveling the world on his dime? Absolutely not. That's how your ass end up indicted. That's how you end up on the episode of For My Man. Absolutely not. So all of that, wait a minute, I need to call him. Mm-mm. And your boyfriend told you stay out of other people's business. Your boyfriend told you, she was like, well, I don't really want to be messy and I don't really want to be in other people's business, but unless it's warranted. And your boyfriend was like, it's never warranted. Your boyfriend said it's never needed for you to be in other people's business. That's what your boyfriend said. But they're cute, they're cute. They've been together since she was like 19. So they've been together for a minute, and whatever, it seems like whatever they have, they got it, Next, we get to know a little bit about, we get to know a little bit more about Rowan, who is Brooke Shields' daughter. So she just graduated from Wake Forest University. She moved back in with her parents. She is she's doing freelance journalism, and she wants to go into entertainment. I think entertainment journalism. So I don't know if she wants to be a blogger. I don't know if she wants to write for like an actual magazine, but it was cool. It was cool to meet her. Brooke Shields is hilarious. She was like, and I never watched Hannah Montana, so I had no idea that Brooke Shields was on Hannah Montana. I did not know. I knew what Hannah Montana was. I knew it was Miley Cyrus. I knew her dad was on the show, but I did not know that Brooke Shields was on that show. It was hilarious. Riley could use a break. She could have gotten hurt if it went after the wrong person. We're gonna get to it. Brooke Shields is so awkward. Who knew? Right. She is awkward, but she's cute and awkward. You know what I mean? She's cute. Again, I'm old enough to remember the Brooke Shields craze. I mean, I wasn't an adult, obviously. I wasn't an adult, and I was like a kid. I was like 5 or 6 years old when it was like, I told you I had a Brooke Shields Barbie doll. I was probably like 6 or 7 years old when I got that Barbie doll. I remember some of her movies, you know, so I remember her. I don't know her, you know. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Obviously, I don't know her. I remember her, but I wasn't a teenager to understand everything. Let me say it like that. I didn't understand everything about what was going on with Brooke Shields, like when they talked about her mom and the different movies that she was in that they were inappropriate. I didn't know until I was older, but I remember Brooke Shields. Let me say that. Brooke Shields is only in 3 episodes. Well, it's not her show. I mean, I'm okay with them not showing Brooke Shields. Oh, before I forget, because I meant to tell y'all this the other day. So, according to Bravo and Cocktails, hold on. Hold on. Sorry, y'all. Somebody was reaching out to me about the event tomorrow. Oh, she's only in 3 episodes ahead of Montana. Oh, well, they made it seem like she was like a regular on the show. Girl. I mean, CC Freak, you know I ain't calling you a girl. So we saw Adriana, Liam, Shy, and Liam's friend. They were all hanging out. You know, they were talking or whatever. They played this, like, I guess, life-size beer pong situation. And it was cute. Was it a date? I don't know. That's one of those things where if they started dating, maybe they could say that was their first date. But it wasn't a technical date because they were all hanging out. You know, but Liam was definitely getting his flirt on. Ariana was talking about her new apartment and she got a closet. And he was like, hey, I'll come over and build that closet for you. And she was like, for real? He was like, yeah. And she was like, well, how much you going to charge me? He was like, I'm not going to charge you anything. He was like, you just got to go on a motorcycle ride with me. Liam, listen, I like your style. Liam said, I guess I got to go by the store and get me some tools. Liam didn't even have no tools, okay? But Liam said, I am going to seize this opportunity. She said that she bought this closet that she need built. I'm going to build it. I might not know what the hell I'm doing, but that get me in your house. That get me some more one-on-one time with you. And even if I screw it up, like he told her, he said, look, if I don't get it right, I'll just pay somebody to fix what I did. Listen, I ain't mad at you, Liam. I am not mad at you, Liam. Liam, that was a great move. And then he said, look, you ain't got to pay me. Just go on a motorcycle ride with me. Let me show you New York the way I see New York. Look, that was cute. Hudson, look, I know you still love that woman, but you screwed up. Now, I know that the word on the curb is that they done got back together, and that's fine that they got back together. Sometimes you got to show somebody. Sometimes you got to show them that at the end of the day, other people will want me, and I'm willing to go find those other people. Sometimes you just got to show them. It don't mean that Ariana meant it. I think she meant it in that moment. I think she really meant it when she broke up with him. But I figured they would kind of find their way back to each other. She just wanted him to have some oomph with him. You know, some get up and go. Just because you're rich, that doesn't mean you get to just sit in the house all day and just be a rich kid. Do something. Go to the gym. Do something. You know what I'm saying? I love that. It reminded me of college. Yeah, when boys would be like, I'll come and help you move into the dorm, or I'll help you move your stuff into the storage unit. I mean, you gonna go by, the Walmart and pick up a bookshelf. I'll come put it together for you. Yes. You were watching the replay? Okay, girl. Well, come on in, Tiffany. So I thought it was cute. Now, Shy felt a little awkward because he was like, look, I'm cool with Hudson, and I know Hudson wouldn't be cool with this. So what do I do? Like, I don't know what I should say, I'm a replay later because I want to see the episode. Okay, boom. I don't like how the men on this show are treating Ariana like Hudson's property. I'm gonna be honest, I don't think they're treating her like Hudson's property, but I do think that this is the problem that you have when you move in a pack, right? When you move in a group and there are couples in a group and the couple breaks up, it forces people, and this is why it's hard to stay friends with everybody when a couple breaks up. A friend of mine who went through a divorce, he was like, look, I gave my wife to friends because it was awkward for everybody. They tried really hard to stay neutral. They tried really hard to be like, I'm friends with you and I'm friends with you. But it's really hard, especially if it's a contentious divorce and it's a bad breakup. I don't think that they're necessarily, I hear what you're saying. I don't necessarily see it as they're treating her like Hudson's property as much. Now, Hudson is treating her like that's his property. Hudson is. But I think that everybody is trying to be in a space where everybody's comfortable. And it's hard to be comfortable when you have a breakup and you have somebody like a Hudson who's still acting like that's his woman. You know what I mean? But now Hudson is being very caveman, you know, but he didn't want the breakup. And in his mind, we're gonna get back together. I just need to let this ride out, and I just don't need nobody else to get in the middle of it while because she's coming back, you know. But I hear what you're saying though. I hear what you're saying. Then we see Georgia, and she is working on a cleaner product. Listen, Georgia, I need you to figure out what you want to do with your life. You last season, you were the nightlife expert. You were the it girl. You were the one that could get everybody in. You know, you did these parties. You wanted to open up your own club. You had this idea to kind of do a retro thing with the bowling alley and the club environment, blah, 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 blah. Like, I need you to figure it out. Because first of all, there's absolutely no way in hell that I'm buying a cleaning product called Yuck. Why would I buy a cleaning product that's called Yuck? That doesn't even appeal to me. That doesn't even make me want to go buy it. And I get, you know, nobody likes to clean. Well, I shouldn't say nobody. There are some people who enjoy cleaning. And cleaning is a glamorous thing, but the product itself just being called Yuck, I don't like it. Then you're dirty. And you said Gen X wants things to be fun. No, clean people don't give a fuck about it being fun. You just like, do I enjoy cleaning? I don't. That's why as soon as I could put it in my budget, I found a way to pay somebody to come and do it. But in between, when my cleaning person doesn't come through, do you think that I don't wash dishes? I don't sweep the floor. I don't take out the trash. I don't do it a lot. Like, you know. But I still have to clean up. It's not fun. Yeah, we're on episode 3. Yeah, we're doing episode 3 and 4. Okay. But Georgia, girl, if you can find somebody that's going to invest in you by making a cleaner product called Yuck, girl, go for it. If you like it, I love it. We meet Riley's boyfriend. This scene was weird and awkward. It was Riley on a date with her boyfriend. I guess that was their way of introducing us to him. I'm going to be honest. I still don't know nothing about him. You know why I don't know nothing about him? Because Riley was talking the whole time. Riley was talking the whole time. So I still don't know nothing about him. I mean, she said he's a little nerdy and that they play video games and have dance parties. I mean, that's pretty much what she said they did do. Georgia is nasty, but she didn't deserve the wrath. We're gonna get to a CC freak because I definitely had some thoughts on that whole. We almost there, y'all. We almost there. Let's talk about Brooks for a minute. Brooks, come here, baby. Give me your hand. Come here. Let me hold your hand. Brooks, give me your hand. Let me hold your hand. Let me hold your hand. Come here. Come here. Come here. Let me talk to you. Brooks, this isn't for you. This isn't for you, sweetheart. This isn't for you. Reality television is not for you. You are the kind of person that is afraid of your own shadow. This is not for you. Everything gives you anxiety. Everything stresses you out. You don't want to talk to people. You don't want to engage. You don't want to have a moment. This is not your avenue. Oh, see, y'all let me pick up my phone and get distracted. Hold on. This is not for you, Brooks. I'm just going to be honest and tell you, this is not for you, my love. I'm sorry, y'all. I saw on Bravo, I think it's called Bravo and Cocktails. Hold on, let me make sure I have the right website. Is it? Hold on. Make sure I didn't delete it. Here it is. Bravo and Cocktails, it is. I saw on Bravo and Cocktails Instagram page, that next gen is the future. According to Bravo and Cocktails, it says that they participated in a focus group for Bravo today. And we saw a sizzle reel for 3 shows. Next Gen LA with confessionals already filmed. The cast includes Heather Dubrow's son Kyle, Richard's daughter Sophia, Camille and Kelsey Grammer's daughter Mason, Michelle Visage. If y'all don't know who Michelle Visage is, she's on RuPaul's Drag Race. She's one of RuPaul's best friends, and she's a judge on Drag Race. Her daughter Lola, and Shaquille O'Neal's son Sharif. Now we've seen Sharif. He used to come on to on Basketball Wives back in the day. It said here that Michelle's. Oh, I just read that. It says it looks very compelling, and Sophia seemed to be the least interesting. So no surprise there that Kyle Richards' daughter is the least, But okay. Also, they have also cast a next gen DC. Who knew they were going to try to do one in DC? I guess this is going to be the black one. It's going to have Karen Huger's daughter, Raven, Cherie Whitfield's daughter. So this maybe Cherie Lord, y'all can't talk. Maybe Cherie's daughter came up to DC for some reason. But Cherie Whitfield's daughter, Anthony Anderson's son. Now, y'all know Anthony went to Howard, so maybe his son goes to Howard. And Sharice Jackson's son, no surprise there, the one that hooked up with Ashley. It says there were, of course, others that didn't come from famous people. The one looked like casting types. Okay, I'm sorry. This one looked like casting tapes and B-roll, but the group was focused on Howard University. Okay, so it sounds like a lot of these people went to Howard. It was an intriguing group that I think would enjoy watching. Finally, next gen Atlanta with Cynthia's daughter Noelle, Kim Zolciak's daughter Brielle, Angela Oakley's daughter, Akon's son, and some others. This group received a very negative reaction from our focus group. So this is interesting. This is interesting that even though Next Gen NYC, I think I'm a little old for some of what they got going on, because some of this stuff I just don't care that much about. But it definitely, I think, speaks to exactly what it's supposed to speak to, that next generation. People like us who grew up watching reality TV and watching these kids as kids, and then that rich kid type syndrome. It kind of reminds me of that show that came on E! That had EJ Johnson and the guys, the couple, Brandon, and I can't remember her name now. They done broke up from the agency. Before we even really knew all, they were from the agency. He worked for the agency, and she whatever. And then the young lady who ended up on the rich show, whose father owned the shopping mall. She ended up on the what was it called? Well, it was like just the rich. I forgot the name of it, but they had the rich people on there. But yeah, clearly Bravo is trying to cultivate a younger. They have to. They have to find a way to get to a younger demographic because people like us are aging out. I mean, we're tapping out. We're like, we're over it. We're tired of seeing the same old, same old. Like, we're tapping out. So they have to figure out a way to, they have to diversify their portfolio. And they definitely have to figure out a way to get a younger demographic. And this is a great idea. I mean, honestly, it's a smart idea. You mix in some Bravo celebrity kids who already sort of have a name and a following, and you sprinkle in some other people who are just a part of their world and can, it's actually pretty genius. So we'll see what that looks like. I heard that they were doing a LA version. I heard that last year. I just didn't know anything about DC or Atlanta. I'm not surprised though, but I just didn't know anything about it. All right. Moving right along. So Brooks, this is where I left off. Brooks, this isn't for you. They're doing a girls' night out, and of course, Brooks is torn because he really doesn't. They're doing a guys' night out and a girls' night out, right? Brooks is going with the guys, but he doesn't want to go with the guys. He's anxious about going with the guys. He has anxiety about going with the guys. He wants to hang out with the ladies, but I don't know if production told him he couldn't do it and that he had to go with the guy. Like, I don't know, but he clearly didn't want to do it, right? I remember watching the early seasons on Real World thinking 26 is old. Right, exactly, Jessica. And now, I feel you too. I feel you on that as well. So the guys that are going out is going to be Christian, Charlie, Shy came late. He had another engagement. He's coming late. Hudson is out of town. He's still not there. And Brooks. So it's only, I feel like it was another guy there. I just can't. I feel like it was another guy there. And then for the ladies, it's basically all the rest of the ladies. All right. Riley, Rowan, Brielle, Amira, Eva or Ava. So it's all of the rest of the ladies. So they're all getting together. Now, before they left, Ariana and Riley are having a conversation in the car. And Ariana tells Riley, listen, can you just kind of be nice, tonight? Like, we want to have a good time. Christian, that's who I forgot. Thank you. He's the one that hosted it. Ariana agrees to be the sober one for the night. She said normally Amira is the sober one, but I'm gonna take one for the team. I'm not gonna drink tonight, so you guys can enjoy yourselves and have a good time. But they do have a conversation on the way there about Riley and her dislike for Georgia. And Ava is like, look, Ariana is like, look, just kind of, just kind of give her a chance. And then they talk about Ava and how Ava, not give her a chance, but, and they talk about Ava and how Ava sort of treats Ariana different than what she treats Riley, And she was like, I don't understand why that is, but she doesn't talk to me the way she talks to you. She doesn't treat me the way she treats you. I'm not really sure why, that kind of thing. So, Riley is like, listen, I just don't see it for Georgia, and I just can't fake it. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't see it for her. Now, here is my issue. I feel like before we even got there, this was the setup to let us know that whatever was going on between Riley and Georgia was already beyond a regular, we don't kind of get along kind of thing, right? We're going to get to that. Now, over on the other side, they're pre-gaming at Brooks's house. He's got sourdough and caviar for them to pre-game. And Charlie sends Christian a text that says, just tell that boy to keep my name out of his mouth. And the assumption is that it's Brooks. So Christian shows the text to Gia, and then Gia tells Brooks about the text. And it's so funny because she thought she was smart, and she thought she took Brooks in the room, and she was whispering and nobody could hear her. Gia, girl, you had on a microphone. You were mic'd up. And even if you thought you were whispering or you thought you were covering up the microphone, like whatever you thought you were doing, girl, you were mic'd up. Brooks was also mic'd up. So now you have given Brooks, who already has anxiety and is scared of his own damn shadow. Now you done told him that Charlie said, just tell him to keep my name out his mouth. So now he's like, well, I feel like that's a little threatening. Okay, now we're going to start using trigger words. Oh, he's threatening me. Look, I don't know why Charlie made that statement. Like, I don't know where that's coming from, other than people have been telling him that Brooks has an issue with you or whatever. Here's my frustration with this whole thing. Why are we still mad about shit that happened last season that y'all resolved? Like, you still mad that he said he wanted to sleep with your sister. Your sister ain't even on the show. Your sister is no longer filming on the show. Like, I get it that maybe Charlie's an asshole. Like, I'm not going to defend that Charlie is an asshole, but what I am going to say is I think that it becomes a point of ridiculousness. Now, somebody made a comment later on that said, well, I think maybe he just didn't want to be seen on camera with you, and that's why he keeps running away when you're around. Then don't do the show. If you had that big of an issue being on camera with Charlie, then when you found out they were bringing Charlie back to do another season, then you should have quit. Because you know how this reality TV show goes. You know how this shit works. They were going to make y'all film together. At some point, hey, Cheryl, at some point, they were going to make y'all film together. So all of that, I don't want to be, I don't know, I don't want to, I don't... Do we know if that's the current issue, though? That's all Brooks won't listen. I only know what they telling me. Brooks said that he has an issue with some comments that were made that Charlie made about his family and his friends. That's all I got. Now, somebody else said, I think maybe he didn't want to be seen on camera with you because of your current situation. That was somebody else. But that's because they don't know either. Like, you're still holding on to the comments that Charlie made last season. And again, I'm not excusing Charlie. Charlie's an asshole. I don't like Charlie. I'm not a fan of Charlie. Charlie is an asshole. However, you know what it is. You know what you signed up for. You know what you signed up for. So either you're going to play the reality TV show game and you're going to do what you got to do to get your paycheck, or quit. But all of this running away when he comes, and to me, it's so silly to me. It's just silly. So boys' night is basically a bust. Like, they're sitting around, they're not hardly speaking to each other. Brooks is texting on his phone. He's trying to figure out, just shows you how young and dumb they still are. Yeah, it does. So he wants to go to where the girls are. So eventually the guys end up leaving guys' night and they're going to go over to where the girls are. But the guys basically ditch Charlie. Now, let me say this. This is how, and I said this on my last review. I am no Charlie fan at all by any stretch of the imagination. But I do not like the pile up. Because I'm going to get to Miss Georgia in a minute. And I'm going to go ahead and say it before I forget to say it. I think that we're going to get to what Riley did in about 2 minutes. I think that what Riley did to Georgia is absolutely ridiculous. And we're going to get there in a second. But I also think what Georgia is doing to Charlie is bad. Georgia does not want Charlie around. So when the guys were talking about coming, and she was like, is Charlie coming? Why? Why does he have to come? I don't want him to come. I don't want him to be here. I don't want him. I don't want him. I don't want him. And a part of me feels like it was wrong to ditch him, right? I feel like when you told Amira that Charlie was one of the people that came back to you and said something about Amira being upset about her boyfriend last season, about, Georgia touching on her boyfriend last season, and you said that Charlie was one of the people that told you. I don't know how much I believe that. I have to wait and see next episode and see what that conversation was between Amira and Charlie, because I'm wondering if Georgia just threw that out there as a way to get Amira to no longer be cool with Charlie, because Amira is still riding for Charlie. She's still defending him. She's still riding for him. So it makes me wonder, was it true? Was Charlie one of the people that said something to you, or did you throw that out there to try to get Amira to not be cool with Charlie? I don't know. I don't know. But I have to hold on to that one for next week and see, because something got Amira pissed off at Charlie. So I have to wait and see how that conversation goes and see what was said. Now, let's talk about Miss Riley. First of all, let's start at the obvious point. The obvious point is Riley is a nasty drunk. You know how some people get drunk and they get happy. Some people get drunk and they get violent. Some people get drunk and they're nasty. And I don't mean nasty like don't wash your hands nasty. I mean nasty like rude, disrespectful nasty. That is how Riley gets when she gets drunk. And it's clear that that is her norm, because you heard people saying it. Well, you know, Riley does get a little aggressive, or, you know, like you heard people making those comments as it relates to Riley being drunk. That's not cute. And I'm not saying she's got a drinking problem. She's in her early 20s. She goes out, she gets drunk. Like, we all did it. Well, when I say we all did it, people who drink, we all did it, right? So I'm not saying that she has a drinking problem. But what I am saying is she's not a cute drunk. This situation with Georgia is this. You were rude to Georgia from the beginning of this conversation. You were rude to Georgia from the beginning of this conversation. You were rolling your eyes all night, sucking your teeth, making little smart comments. Like when they were playing the drinking game and Georgia said something about her drink and Riley said, it doesn't matter, you're not in the game anyway. She was rude to her all night. And to be fair, I'm going to give Georgia credit for not responding. Georgia didn't give Riley no, she just kind of let that shit roll. Riley was being rude to her the entire night. And she just kind of let that thing roll. Then Riley got up and went to the bathroom with Ava, and she tried to have a conversation with Ava. And they were talking or whatever about why, why is it so, why can me and you, get past our disagreements faster than you and Ariana? And Ava was like, well, I'm just a straightforward person. You're a straightforward person. I just feel like we can talk things out and we can move on. And then Riley told her, give me a shot. And Ava was like, girl, can you say please? And she was like, please? I'm not going to say please to you. What do you mean? I got to say please. Girl, I'm not saying please to you. I'm not doing this with you. I said, oh, it's time for her to go home because you absolutely owe her a please. You told her to get y'all some drink, get y'all some shots. You absolutely owe her a please on that. And even for her to say it and for you to respond that way, be like, oh, my bad, girl, you know I didn't mean it like that. But for you to be like, how dare you question me? How dare you say to me, I don't owe you? Like, how dare, it's almost like a, how dare you? Riley doubled down on the after show. Oh, I hate that. I wish I had watched the after show because I hate that. I hate to hear that. Because especially after seeing it play back. So they end up going outside. The ladies go outside. They're still waiting for the guys to show up. So they actually end up going outside. Everybody is trying to get Riley to sober up. Ariana is giving her water. They're even saying, hey, y'all, let's take shots of water. Hey, y'all, let's take some. Like, they're literally trying to do everything in their power to get Riley to try and sober up a little bit, which makes me feel like she was being even more obnoxious than what we saw, because everybody is trying to get Riley to sober up. And they even went and got her some pizza because, greasy pizza, soak up the liquor. Like, they were trying to do everything to try and get Riley to sober up just a little bit. So then her and Georgia get into it again, and she's gonna say to Georgia, she said something about her drink. And she's gonna say to Georgia, I don't want your drink. It might have some ketamine in it or something. And Georgia was like, girl, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Like, why would you say that? Why would you say that? Like, where did that even come from? Why would you say drugs in my drink? Now, what I did think was funny was Georgia was like, I never did drugs around you, which I found to be funny because the insinuation is, well, I probably do have some drugs, but not around you. But again, when you're on camera, you have to be mindful of those types of accusations. Like, there's nothing to play with to insinuate that somebody has a drug situation going on, especially something like ketamine. Like, that ain't no, oh, she's smoking some weed, whatever. Me too, Black Empress. Black Empress said last season I defended her with the microaggressions. In this scene, she was definitely the aggressive Black woman. She was, and we're gonna keep going because for me it gets worse. So when Georgia started kind of like pushing back, which to be fair was really the only time that night that she pushed back on Riley. She let Riley roll her eyes and suck her teeth and make her little smart comments all night. But when she drew the line at the drug thing, like, whoa, what you mean? Then Riley starts coming at her. Then Riley starts coming at her. And she made a comment about you can't do this. You can't even afford a Birkin. Riley, neither can you. Your mother can afford a Birkin. But girl, I mean, you have this job, which I'm sure they're not paying y'all that kind of money. Girl, the Birkin you were carrying, I'm sure your mother paid for it. Somehow, some way. I'm sure your mother paid for that Birkin. The lifestyle that you have right now is because of your mother, not because of anything you have done. When I look at Amira's lifestyle is because of Amira. And for her to say that, do you understand how obnoxious a statement like that is to somebody? Like when they were talking about riding the train and she was like, who rides the train? And everybody was like, we do. Like literally you could be on the train in New York and you can run into a friend of mine used to see Matthew Broderick on the train all the time because I guess wherever they were going the same place. I don't know. But celebrities ride the train all the fucking time in New York. It's not a big deal. And so to make it seem like who rides the train and all of them were like, well, we do. Riley, you were absolutely obnoxious and you were rude and you did pick up a glass. You threatened to slap that girl in the face with your pizza and you picked up a glass to throw it. They stopped you. Somebody, I think it was Ariana, literally put their hand on your hand to stop you. Now, would you have actually thrown the glass? We don't know. But you didn't stop yourself. They stopped you. You don't have to like JFK Jr. used to ride a train. Yeah. You don't have to like Georgia. I mean, I do think Georgia's nasty. I don't think Georgia's cute. Like, but when I say cute, I don't mean physically cute. I mean, like, I don't think her little, I don't like to wash my hair. I don't think it's cute. But at the end of the day, you don't get to do what you did. It was obnoxiously rude. Obnoxiously rude. And it was nothing cute about it. So that was the end of episode 3, which takes us right to episode 4, which, again, they're still at the party or whatever. And we finally get Riley ass out of there. And what I know is that Riley is embarrassed because she didn't come around for a while. We saw where her mother called her and was like, girl, what the hell? You're all over the blogs. What the hell is going on? Like, what's happening? You're all over the blogs and I need to know how we got here. I need to know how we got here. And Riley, even in that moment, Riley couldn't just be straight up and say, Mom, I fucked up. I was drunk and I let it get way too far. She was like, well, I mean, it's never a good excuse to threaten somebody. It's never like she was using all and like, and Candy even said, girl, are you giving me the politically correct answer? Or are you telling me what's going on? And she was like, no, I mean, I'm just saying, like, it's never okay, to blah, blah, blah. Girl, I fucked up. And she was like, she just triggers me. She just triggers me. Literally, Georgia did nothing. And you know how I know Georgia did nothing? Because not only did production not show us anything, but nobody else at that table felt like Georgia did anything. Because they would have said it. They would have said it. Nobody else at that table said that Georgia did anything. So it's almost Halloween, and the people are getting together for Rowan is having a Halloween party. I find it absolutely hilarious that none of these people know the Rocky Horror Picture Show. They had to do a whole Pinterest board so the people to know what it is. I thought it was hilarious. Again, it just keeps reminding me just how old I am. I mean, I don't know. Brooks is talking to his mom, and he's talking about the whole Charlie of it all. And basically his mother is telling him, if you read between the lines, his mother was saying, Brooks, you got to play the reality TV game. You don't have to involve yourself. You can disengage without avoiding the conflict. Like, you got to play the game. You got to have the moment. You have to give them the moment, and then you can disengage on the other side of the moment, which is basically what his mother was saying. You got to give the cameras the conflict, and then you can disengage and say, I'm not going to engage in this anymore. But you can't run before the conflict actually happens, because in the grand scheme of things, this season, I'm talking about this season, Brooks has not had a conflict. You know what I mean? Brooks has not had a moment. I was annoyed with Amira when she told Georgia to stop antagonizing Riley. Like, what the hell? So let me say this, Black Empress. I hear you. I think that was a moment of, we know Riley's drunk, and everything you say is invoking this response. I don't think the right word was antagonized, because I agree, Georgia was not antagonizing Riley, but in that moment, if you've ever been around a mean drunk, in that moment, it was a lot easier for them to get Georgia to comply than Riley in that moment. And because they were filming a scene, they were probably trying to get Riley out of there, but they couldn't get out of there faster than production would let them leave. So I think in that moment, I agree. I don't think it's the right word. I don't think antagonize was the correct word to use. But I think in that moment, it was a lot easier for us to get Georgia, I just need you to shut up, versus... Because it was clear they couldn't get Riley under control. They tried to give her water. They tried to give her food. They tried to get her to shut up. Like, they did try. But I agree. I don't think antagonize was the right word. But if you've ever been around a mean drunk, it's a lot easier to get the sober people to just shut the fuck up until we can get this drunk mother out of here. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think that's the first time that they have seen that side of Riley. Ariana, like the people who hang around Riley, it's not the first time they've seen it. I could tell by the way they were acting. It's not the first time they've seen it, and it's not cute. It's not cute. This tells me that Riley is a bully. I think that Riley is a mean drunk. I think Riley is a mean drunk. I'm going to say something that is going to be controversial. And this sort of goes to the ending of this episode. So I'm going to put it right there. Kim, remind me. Don't let me forget. because I want to say it all at the end, because it's gonna link in with what I'm gonna say at the end. We're almost there. We're almost at the end. Shy is confused about Hudson is back, and Shy is confused about whether to tell Hudson that Liam and Ariana are hanging out. They end up going to play pool with Charlie. Shy ends up telling Hudson. Now Charlie is real blunt with it. Charlie was like, look, he wants to F your girlfriend. I don't think Liam just wants to F Ariana. I think Liam likes her. I think he's interested in dating her. And of course, Hudson does his whole some. Oh, it's not gonna be. I'm gonna crash the fuck out. I'm gonna crash out. What you crashing out for? She doesn't belong to you. She's not yours. She's not your girlfriend. Y'all aren't together. I get it. You don't like it. You know your feelings are hurt. But at the end of the day, you don't control who she talks to and who she's friends with. Well, Cece Freak said that she doubled down on the after show. She's seen the episode and she still doesn't seem to feel like she did anything wrong, which is scary. It's scary that she doesn't feel like she's done anything wrong. That's a scary thought. She does apologize to she does send an apology to Georgia, and Georgia kind of says, look, I get it, we're good, it's okay, kind of thing. Georgia was like, look, she was drunk, I've been drunk, I've done some, I've made some questionable decisions when I was drunk, I'm all good. Which again is why I feel like they're giving her a pass, because they're just writing it off as she's drunk. You know what I mean? They're just writing it off as, oh, she was drunk. And which also makes me feel like this isn't the first time they've seen it. Like this isn't a new phenomenon, which isn't, again, she's in her early 20s. I'm not saying she has a drinking problem, but I do think that it's good for you to know what type of a drunk you are. And, we know Candy doesn't drink. Maybe that's why Candy doesn't drink. Maybe Candy has drank and maybe she don't like the person she becomes when she has too much alcohol. You know what I mean? We see Georgia hanging out with her cousin. He seemed really cool. She let us know that, she went through a lot last year with the whole relationship ending. She said she was depressed. She actually had to be institutionalized because her mental health was that bad. She also said that she suffers from eating disorder that sort of comes and goes. Like she, which eating disorder is just like any other addiction. Like you do well, you are doing all the right things, and then you have a setback. They also talked about their mamas and their aunties being abducted by aliens. I mean, who am I to tell them that they weren't? I don't know. Child, maybe they were abducted by aliens. Maybe that's why Georgia is as crazy as she fucking is, because maybe they were abducted by aliens. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not gonna sit here and tell them white women that they wasn't abducted by an alien. I don't know what happened. I wasn't there. So the ladies are getting ready for the Rocky Horror Picture Show party. Riley is coming over to talk to Ariana. She's not going to the party. She's going to Atlanta, but she wants to come and talk to Ariana. Can I be honest with y'all and tell y'all that this scene pissed me off more than the alcoholic scene, than the scene with Georgia? This scene pissed me off more than that scene with Georgia. And I'm going to tell you why. I was going to say Candy. Riley, you gaslit the entire fuck out of Ariana. And I'm going to give Ariana credit, because Ariana was like, girl, I did that. Like, I tried to get you to drink. I tried to get you to eat. I tried to sober you up. I told you, like, let's go. Like, I tried to do all of the things. I tried to do all of the things. And you're saying I did not have your back. You're saying I wasn't there to protect you. You're saying I wasn't there for you. But nobody was doing anything to you. Well, you know that and Riley was like, well, when you see somebody that's triggering me, I need somebody to have my back and support me. Girl, nobody was triggering you. You were triggering her. And the fact that CC Freak said that she doubled down on it tells me that you watched that scene back and you still felt like Georgia did something to you. Girl, Georgia wasn't doing anything to you. Now, let's be clear. I can understand that Georgia, you don't have to like her. You don't. But every time she opens up her mouth, it's not an affront to you. Half the time, Georgia wasn't even talking to you. Like, you literally, it's like when Georgia got there and sat down, the first thing you said to her on camera was, I just have, well, it wasn't the first thing, but one of the first things you said was, I have a question. Do you still, I mean, have you started washing your hands or something along those lines? And then you were like, oh, I'm joking, ha ha ha. But literally, you came at her first. That woman wasn't bothering you, Riley. And for you to sit there and act like Ariana was a bad friend to you that night, like she didn't have your back and she wasn't there to support you, when literally you were the aggressive person. And she tried to sober you up and she tried to remove you from that scenario. That pissed me off more than anything else, and I'm going to tell you why. In my opinion, Riley is used to moving in white spaces, and she's used to being able to lean on the idea that, how do I say this? Last season, we saw the microaggressions, and they were real. The microaggressions were real. Let's be clear. But I think Riley is used to moving in spaces where microaggressions exist. And I think she's used to being able to use that as an excuse. And 9 times out of 10, she's probably right, right? 9 times out of 10, she's probably right that there are microaggressions and she's in a space where she needs somebody to have her back because these people are being mean to her and they're making these little passive aggressive comments. She's probably right 9 times out of 10. The problem is she's not always right. And you weren't right in this situation, Riley. You were wrong. There's no justification. And I like Riley. I ain't got no beef with Riley. And I defended her last season. But I'm not going to defend bad behavior. And I'm not going to defend you when you're wrong. And you were wrong. And you came off as a spoiled ass, entitled, angry ass drunk. That is how you came off. It wasn't a good look. And the fact that you can look back on that episode and still double down and still act like somebody did you wrong in that whole situation, that is concerning to me. Because like she said, I don't get the grace of making a mistake. Here's the thing. You're right. You're Candy Burris' daughter, and anything you do is going to hit the blogs and it's going to be a thing. However, how you handle something can really, it can really, I don't want to say make up for what happened. How you handle something. So you doubling down and acting like Georgia did something to you and then blaming Ariana as if she was not a good friend to you and as if she didn't have your back. And for you to be like, well, my friends at home would never let that happen. What? I want to know, what is it that Ariana let happen that your friends at home would not have allowed to happen? That's what I want to know. Because in that moment, based on what production showed us, and again, I have to believe that what we saw is accurate because other people would have said something. If Georgia had been the aggressor, if Georgia had made nasty comments, if Georgia had come at Candy, had come at Riley, I have to believe that is what we would have been, that other people would have said something. Other people would have said, that's messed up. Georgia's doing too much. Georgia's being rude. Georgia. I have to believe that is what we would have gotten. And I felt so bad. I really felt bad for Ariana in that moment because Ariana finally just ended up apologizing. I'm like, girl, you don't even have nothing to apologize for. It's a spoiled girl who never takes accountability and blames everyone else for her wrongdoing. And she can't even remember anything and gets away with it for me. It just was an ugly thing, and I didn't like it. I didn't like the tears. I didn't like the fact that when Ariana kind of pushed back, I love her. I love Ariana, and I got to give her all the credit in the world, because Ariana was like, "You're not gonna piss on my leg and tell me it's raining. Like, you're my friend, and I want to be a good friend to you, and I want to be there for you. But girl, you're gonna have to tell me what I didn't do. You're gonna have to explain to me what I did wrong, because I don't see what I did wrong. I felt like I was there for you. I felt like I was a good friend to you, and I don't know what it is that I did wrong." And then when Riley didn't get Ariana to just apologize and say, "You're right, friend. I wasn't a good friend to you. I didn't have your back like I should have." When Ariana didn't give you that immediate response, then here come the tears. Now you're crying. Now it's, I just need you to be there. I just need you to be there. Girl, nobody knows how to help you. Nobody's there to help. I mean, like, girl, nobody did anything to you. Nobody did you dirty in this situation. Riley is grown. She will only get so much protection. Exactly. Exactly. And you're right. It's almost as if she wanted somebody to protect her. So nobody protecting you. With that being said, y'all, let me get out of here. I will talk to y'all later. I'm not coming back tonight. I have to be ready to leave out of my house probably no later than 1 o'clock tomorrow. So depending on what time I get up, I may or may not go live before I leave out of here tomorrow. But if not, if I don't get you guys, if I don't do a live tomorrow morning, then y'all probably won't see me till Sunday. I may go live from the event just so I can give you guys a little behind the scenes from the event, not like during the actual event, but like maybe after it's over or something like that. But yeah, so that's what we got going on. With that being said, let me get out of here. I will talk to y'all later. Peace.